In 13 minutes, I'm going to explain to you how I got that image looking like this. Okay, so just getting the page ready. Before I start, I just want to get rid of these sort of flaky bits. Really just polish up some finishing touches on the face before I start adding stuff to it. Because it can get a bit grainy after you start editing, which makes it a bit more difficult to do these things. So I always recommend doing this sort of bit first. Got an action on here. It's by Dew Drops Photography. That gives you can enhance the eyelashes. It's a facial feature set, so you can enhance those quite quickly. It's got the whole set together, just enhancing a little bit of rosiness on the lips. Once I'm ready with that, I flatten the image. Yeah, I'm a flatterer. Just want to soften her skin. I think I'll go for the D Blotch. This is by Totally Rad. It's a skin softener. Just going to soften her skin a little bit. It doesn't need much. Just topping it up. Well, starting it off, should I say. Flatter that. Yes, the sky's quite white. Just getting rid of a few bits on the grass and the carpet. The grass, this bit's quite white. So I didn't want a big white bit in the picture like that. So this is just something I do. I made it up myself, so not sure if it's something other photographers do. I'm just literally painting with the paintbrush, the greeny colours. I picked out a certain green and I'm just painting over it. Honestly, I really don't worry too much. If I can't be bothered to go around the red bits, just cover them in. I'm going to add a bit more darker green to it, so I just use the selection tool just to sort of blot it out a bit so it doesn't look like it's one solid colour. Yeah, that looks horrendous. Don't worry, I know that. But that's okay. Flatten that image. What you want to do is get through 2 extra layers. Remove the background layer. Okay. So you can see I've done that there. The computer seems to have frozen. Oh, here we go. We're back in the game. I probably went out to sort the kids out. Yeah, remove that bottom layer so the other 2 are selected. Starting with the top layer, you want to use that selection tool and you want to select all the parts that you don't want blurry. This is a bit of a bit, takes a little while, so in a minute I think I speed this up even more. I don't fuss too much, to be honest with you guys. I'm not as perfect as you probably could be. I mean, I did this whole image in half an hour. If I was doing a photo shoot, I wouldn't edit pictures like of this extreme. This is the second time I edited this. I think the first time probably took me more like an hour or so. So I'd had a little bit of practice on this already. But yeah, go around as quick as you can, selecting bits that you want to be seen, deselecting bits you don't want to see. This image was taken with 2.8 aperture, so as you can see, I have got depth. And you can see the ones that are closer to the front. I'm literally removing all of the ones at the back. You can see it's slightly more blurry. Using quite a bit of an aperture before you do this is quite handy because it's easier to select the parts you don't want to blur. So remember that when you're taking a picture, if you can, go as low as you can. It will help if you do want to really enhance your images like I'm going to with this one. Yeah, just selecting it round to arms. I think this is where I sped it up even faster because this is the bit that takes the time, this. Everything else is pretty quick. But selecting those leaves that are closer to the front and just removing the ones that are slightly blurred at the back. And then it's all a bit of faffing going round, just sort of tucking in the edges around the leaves. Checking her dress. Oh, and I've got an interruption. I knew this would happen. Come in, darling. I told him 13 minutes, don't bother me. Oh, lovely. So, oh yeah, lost the picture, there it is. As you can see, I'm just doing a very important YouTube video. Oh, well done. Yes, so sorry. I have had a few interruptions and had to come back to this. Click select and mask. Go to filter. click select and mask. You want to hold down the shift key, which will then bring you up with this page where you can refine the edges. You then want to go around all those edges that you'd selected, okay? Once you've selected it all, don't worry too much about the feet. I'll show you why in a minute. The feet, you don't worry about too much because you don't want a huge blur in the back of your feet. You want to be able to see the floor on your feet is not blurry. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Click OK. Then it will bring you back to the beginning. You want to then add that little selection bit that I selected there. Then you want to add this to the selection. You want to make sure you clicked on that middle layer, and then you want to modify it and expand it by 30. You can slow this down and pause. Once you've expanded it on 30, you then want to, this didn't work, so you just click on the three dots, then you can click the right button and you can fill. Content aware, click OK. This is going to fill the screen in now. Once it takes a little while to fill, but once that has filled into content aware, you'll then have removed or added that selection. Okay, I'll show you. If you take the take that eye off, you can see where I've removed her. I know this is quite quick. YouTube's can only be 15 minutes. Anyway, so yep, go to blur, tilt shift, and it will bring you up there. So blur, tilt shift, okay? We then can play around with how far we want it to be blurry. I want it pretty blurry. We don't want to see that it painted in that background, did we? So yeah, you can lift that dotted line up a little bit. It just blends that background in, so you're not getting such a sharp line of blur. It sort of blends it a little bit. Click OK, and then again I'm going to speed this next part up because it's just faffing. This is the bit I was on about. This is the bits that you haven't got the blur behind, you're going to get this blurry line. Add the background layer back on, and then just erase it, okay? And then it takes it away. But as you can see, we've got all these little bits here, and you just need to erase it. I clicked the wrong one. Make sure you're selected on the right one before you start erasing. So for the outer, to bring in the blur, you want to make sure you have the top one selected. Just erase. And if there's blur that's come onto your, your subjects, so her chin looks like it's a little bit green where the blur's just come over, just click onto the one in the middle, and then just erase that, and it will take any of the blur off of her. And then obviously I'm just rotating from those two, erasing bits that I feel that haven't sort of come out too well, any bits that have not come, you'll see in a second, sorry. But like here, I think there's a little bit of green on the bottom of her dress, so I click on the top bit, or back on that bit just to remove that. The leaves, as you can see, there's going to be a lot of faffing with the leaves. So again, I'm going over with the erasing tool, picking the top one and the bottom one. I have obviously re-added the background layer. This is advanced editing, I would say, and this is Photoshop Creative Clouds. I've done a lot of practicing with these sort of pictures. I think if you're going to start off, I would pick something maybe with just blur the background, not something where you're selecting like leaves what you want to be in, as close. You might want to pick just a normal picture and then just practice on blurring that background. Practice makes perfect. So yeah, I've been here watching these videos, but it is possible, it really is. I'm self-taught, I've never been on a course, no one's ever taught me. I have literally just watched YouTube videos. I am a newborn photographer by trade, so this kind of thing is just a hobby to me, really. It's for fun, because it's a lot of work, not something I want to be doing as a business, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it for myself. So there's a few white bits, I'm just going to remove those. I'm really speeding this up now. Okay, so here we go. flattened that layer. I'm now going to do some little twerks in Camera Raw. Sorry, what was wrong with me? Greens, saturation, tone those greens down, add those blacks up. I'm then back into Camera Raw and I'm looking at my presets. I've got a really nice preset on here. I think these presets, can't even tell you who they're from, but I've got a mixture from all over the place. Greater Than Gatsby, Twig and Olive. There are a couple that do presets. I've got blots here that I'm just going to add on. It gives it a real edginess. This is by Erin Toll. I use this for my newborns. I'm then going to add another one. This is, I think you can see it's called Double Coffee Photoshop. It's a really brown, it's all the brown sort of tones, which I love. So yes, you just have to Google them. I've got so many, I'm afraid. You'll get your own collection of the tones and the things that you like. This one here could be Greater Than Gatsby, not sure. But it is a brown tone again. And here I've got some sunlights. You can get these sun layers, you can get them free. You just Google them. You want to put that into screen. Here, look, into screen. That will just turn it into a light. It's come out a bit harsh, didn't it? That's okay. I'm going to add another one. So, yeah, these are all my little sunlight layers. Pop it on there, put it onto screen, gets rid of the black, and then just soften those edges. Make it look a little bit more realistic. I love a little bit of light. That's where the light naturally was in this picture anyway, so it should look okay. Yeah, again, I think I go on to aged photo here just because I wanted to remove some of the colours. Aged photo, it comes free with Camera Raw. And then again, just faffing. In fact, this is another one. This is Rich Cocoa. I'm so sorry again. You'll have to message me down below, and one day I'll try and find out exactly what these presets are, but these actions. So back into Camera Raw, I've done an extra layer here, and then I've really toned down the exposure. I'm then erasing the where I've toned down the exposure, so I can literally have the light where I want it. Gives it its own vignettes. And there we go. I do a bit of sharpening, I do a bit more faffing, but you get the idea. I think I add in a little bit more brown as time goes on, but you've got to keep these videos down to 15 minutes for YouTube, so I've had to be quite quick. Oh, and there we go, just saving that, and I've got a little friend here having a little cuddle. Hello, Remy. There's your picture. That was a before and after. Yeah.
Look at my pink buggy.
That's your pink buggy, isn't it? And there you go. There's the before, there's the after. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helped.